Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest episode of JKL Media, where we continue our journey of The Expanse. We're reviewing Season 2, Episode 11, The Monster and the Rocket. And at first blush, this might seem like the most on-the-nose title, but we'll discuss it. Maybe there's a hidden meaning there. We'll see what my co-hosts think. And as usual, the usual gang is here with my first co-host, Jesse. Hello, sir.
Hello, everyone. I am here, excited. This is a bonus episode. You guys don't know this, but we were supposed to not record today. I was supposed to be in Atlanta, and Karen and I were supposed to be having breakfast. But due to medical concerns, I am not going to Atlanta. And so sad, I had to skip meeting Karen in person. But it does mean we get to talk The Expanse, and I'm very happy.
Sure.
Excellent. And of course, Karen.
Hello, everyone. I'm also sad, but I get to talk to you guys anyway.
There you go. And of course, you listeners get to listen to us. And let's talk about this episode. And quick thoughts, Jesse. What did you think overall of the whole episode?
I thought it was really well done. Has me curious in a couple things the way they're going. Enright, a lot of different feelings about him. I've liked this. He's someone I have not liked at all. And to see him, a different side of him a little bit, maybe seeing with his son,
Definitely. Yeah.
it feels a little different. I'm not saying I totally am like cheering for him now, but I do. And I could watch a whole series of just Christian and Bobby and our
Feature?
Kotar, right?
Yeah, Asher.
Yeah, Kotar together. I just
Yep.
love their interactions together
Yep.
and the way that Kotar doesn't trust Bobby, but Bobby's right away, I'm in for this, I'm doing it. I just love their dynamics.
Awesome. Karen.
This was a great episode. There's no clankers yet, which
Nope.
I dig very much. Cotillard, fantastic in this one. We had a quick turnaround on Naomi and Holden there. They're not on the same ship, but they're on the same team again. I love Melissa too. She's great. And we got a lot of stuff. Man, the whiplash I get from Aaron Wright is just stunning in this episode, in one episode. So yeah, just fantastic storylines this time.
Yeah, for sure. I also had a special connection with this episode because the scenes with Aaron Wright and his son were filmed outside the O'Keefe Center in Toronto, and I've been by that building many times. So sitting there watching this, and of course the boys also film in Toronto, so they featured those scenes, skylines. So I always get a kind of a kick out of seeing hometown settings being used as a backdrop for these types of shows. And I think the one shot with Aaron Wright and Christian in that corridor, I'm pretty sure that was Ontario Place, but I'm not 100%. But I've seen that structure of the corridor somewhere in Toronto before I know it. So,
That's awesome.
so that was pretty cool.
You get some of that, and I get some of that. So many things are filmed in Atlanta
Yeah, I bet.
that I get to see that too. It is awesome when you get to
Yeah,
recognize something.
yeah. Okay, let's tackle the most straightforward storyline. What's going on board the Rocinante with Holden, Alex, and Prax as they're trying to hunt down the hybrid, I guess you could call it, that's running around on the surface. And again, we're seeing a rather obsessed Holden. Reminds me of Kirk from that movie, or the episode The Obsession, where they're tracing that cloud creature that sucks the blood out of people. Your thoughts on that portion of the episode?
Yeah, I ship Naomi and Holden, and I'm sad to see the future, and I do not see them together in the long run, which is a shame. But yeah, the proto-model is become his Moby Dick, his
Yeah,
white male
a-
whale, and I
absolutely.
have to stop this. And the reality is you can't. And the mixing it, but Naomi going, I can't help everyone, but we can help someone. It's very powerful. When we get to that storyline, I'll have more to talk about because Sadly, I think this shows that this is fiction and not real life, but it's how you want life to be
Yeah.
sometimes. It's,
Mm.
yeah, I just, they really are well written. Our four main, if we look at the Rossi,
Mm.
members, those four,
Yeah.
they just are really four very strong characters that I love watching them interact in between each other
Right.
and how they have each other's back, but they also can really disagree often. And
Mm.
it just makes for great dynamics.
Karen.
One of my favorite things about the sequence where Holden is trying to track down the proto dude
I agree.
was when he opened the channel after they called that off and he's going to meet up with the somnambulist. Alex says when he asks to open a channel, when Holden asks to open a channel, Alex says, "Not again." Because the first time they did that, they made Holden into a spokesperson for their cause, right? So Alex doesn't want that. He doesn't want that notoriety and people hunting them down and things like that. I thought that was a great little aside and a wink and a nod to season one. I was all prepared to be upset for the whole episode with how Holden was acting, but it this episode shows that his feelings for Naomi, once they click in, they override this obsession he has
Hmm.
because it could have just been him obsessed through the
Yep.
whole episode.
Yeah.
And once that switch is flipped, where they say we have to go after them because they're part of our team, Alex really hits that home for Holden, and Holden snaps in and says, "Yeah, you're right." And I think some of that is he realizes that whatever happens on Ganymede, that protomolecule isn't going to be relevant anymore. They've destroyed the ship that's coming to pick him up. Aaron Wright did at least. And he, in his head, he thinks, okay, it's a cause that I can drop at this point. I'm going to
Hmm.
help Naomi. And he really makes a fist in this episode. The message that he sends out is so strong. But I will ask you,
Redirecting his anger.
when Alex says, they're going to come after us, they're going to test us, and Holden says, nah, they've got their sights set on each other.
Hmm.
Was he sure of that? Or was he bluffing?
I think that was his read. He wasn't sure. I don't think it was a bluff. I
Okay.
just think it was his guess.
Okay. So he wasn't sure of it. And Alex is saying, how did you get so smart? And I thought, I think it was a guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's smart, but also just kind of running by the seat of his pants. And I feel like that reinforces the renegade feeling that we get from the Rossi. So I love that whole storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, it was well done. I think Jesse nailed it. They're really pulling on the Ahab and the Moby Dick storyline for what Holden's going through right now. Alex is the voice of reason for the most part, and Prax is the conscience. So it's kind of like the Kirk Spock McCoy relationship going on with these three. And all Holden sees is monsters, and all Prax sees is children. And it's a very rich drama subplot that's going on there that they don't, explicitly. And I think this is what the show does really well. They make you aware of what they're talking about, but they don't come out and say it. So they're never preachy and it's never clunky, but it's always, you can always get the subtext of what they're intimating during each episode or each story arc. So I really appreciate that. And of course, the last shot, Jesse, of the episode, what did you think of that?
Remind me.
They're showing the Rossi escorting the somnambulist out away from Ganymede, and they do a flyby of the Rocinante. Was there anything that you noticed about the Rocinante?
No, I didn't. I missed it.
Okay, Karen's nodding. Karen, did you see
Yeah, they
what was
had
in?
a they had a bit of a hanger on
Yeah, they had a
someone, the
stowaway.
Rossi. Yeah,
Oh, I
the
didn't catch
dude.
that. I'll have to see. Okay.
I just want to add, you said Moby Dick, but a lot of this show is a nod to Don Quixote, and I think
Hmm.
that applies here as well. That it's a lost cause, not just that he's upset, but tilting at windmills.
Yeah,
That was when you say that, it's people going after something that's a lost cause.
right.
So I do think that applies here as well. I love that they take themes from classics like Don Quixote, like Moby Dick. It's fantastic. And the reason you understand what's happening is because they pull from themes that are huge in popular culture. And I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, yeah. It's been my experience that contemporary fiction, the best of it, usually draws heavily on the classics in one way or another. So that's a
Yep.
very good point. Now, how do we want to approach this? Okay, let's take the bookend scenes with Aaron Wright, the opening scene with his son, and then the ending scene with his communication to the transport where Mao and the Christian are on. Karen, let's go with you this time.
Yeah, I thought the discussion he had with his son was awkward, but I think he is awkward in that moment. And I think it goes with what he was thinking, what his mindset was. So I didn't find it unrealistic. I just was cringy a little bit. Did either of you watch The Office? I know I've asked these things before.
Yeah, parts
Eh,
of it.
Okay. There's an episode called Scott's Tots where he has promised laptops to a whole class of students. And he doesn't have the money for it, so he takes laptop batteries to them instead. And they're, of course, very upset at him. And it is just the cringiest episode. And everyone agrees. Makes you go, I don't like this. And I'm doing a wriggling movement.
Yeah.
It always makes my legs hurt. And when I was watching this with my husband, I turned to him and I'm like, oh, so cringy. Because the way he was talking to him, it's like when an older person tries to get on the same level as a younger person. And his son just, he was nodding his head like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I think part of him was saying, old man, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so that it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the conversation, it's that it made me cringy. And man, his discussion with Christian, the way he talked to her, it really does bookend what happens later in the episode, but you didn't understand it until it happened. When he switches from talking to her earnestly to emphasizing, oh, you have to go meet with Mao, you have to discuss. And I thought he feels guilty. Maybe that's why he's pushing her to go. And now we realize he was already formulating this plan to get back at her. Just a great way to communicate that and then twist it at the end. Fantastic, those two scenes. Are we
Yeah.
going to go on or are we just going to talk about those two?
You can also, I forgot to mention the scene where he had with his Martian counterpart
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
with that
Um,
capsule. At first, I thought he was going to
yeah.
do this. I thought it was a suicide pill.
Yes. I think they mean to
I
communicate that as well.
absolutely thought it was a suicide pill.
Yep, yep. He
Yeah.
writes the letter, and that's his ex-wife. Is that who he wrote the letter to?
I think
Jody
so. I
or
think
whatever?
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Looked like a suicide note because it showed a little bit of the letter, and it's just remember, I love you. It was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he shows the capsule, and I'm thinking, oh man, is this gonna be like his redemption that he's gonna do something to, I don't know, save things, or is he taking the cowardly way out? I had no idea what was coming. And again, they really do pull the rug out from under you on
Hmm.
that one in a great way that he meets with this Martian. And we've been told over the last few episodes that they're both in a bidding war for the proto molecule. And that little line that Christian has with Mal saying, "You switched to Mars over a lover's spat," that it just shows the mindset that they have about Mars. And so I don't think there was any bit of compunction on Aaron Wright's side. And the fact that I felt like it was like iocane powder, right?
Right.
From the Princess Bride,
Yeah.
I've worked up a tolerance to.
Yeah.
So it was targeted, and I don't know whether it was just to that guy or anyone who's taking those earth earth pills or whatever. But wow, I had no idea what was coming. I thought maybe it was going to be a double kind of, hey, I'm going to make us both have heart attacks or whatever. He was drinking. It came out of nowhere that this was something. And he used it as an example too, to say, if we have something that can be used as a weapon, we're always going to have it. We're going to have it in our back pocket. And
Yeah.
not that as a weapon, not that is something that can go past this dude because he's gone now, but and the scene also where Aaron Wright hyperventilates and then acts like he's trying to revive the Mars dude, something special as well.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the guy turns away, he stops trying to help the guy, right? It shows a lot about Aaron Wright in that
Hmm.
moment. So,
Yeah,
wow,
I
great scene.
actually, I actually for a minute felt, oh shit, he's realized that he can't let this guy die because he's just figured out something or he revealed something. And
Hmm.
he really is panicking, try to fix that. And then I realized, no, he's just getting in character.
Yep.
I just thought that for just half a second, I felt like, oh shit, he's the only one that has the key to the solution, and oh my God, I've killed him. And it was very slick. This is a cliche, right? But a TV show is often only as good as its villains. And this is a show of grayness.
Yeah.
And I love the interaction with Enright's child, his son, the feeling of that, this kind of, hey, I'm about to do some stuff and just we're going to be okay, to be embarrassed. And I really love the complexity of this and the amount of betrayal on this, the politics within is very complicated, which makes it just fascinating to watch.
Aaron
Yeah.
Wright has had an incredible character arc
Yeah.
over this season.
Yeah.
I
Yes, he
mean,
has.
and you buy it 100%.
Yeah.
So big props.
I
Yeah.
actually did feel like a little bit of him, like I Christian, you've always said put Earth first, and I've done that, and now then you're going, wait a minute, have you? Or has this
Hmm.
always been about you? Is it the what's good for me is what's good for Earth, right?
Yeah.
You justify yourself
That's
that,
definitely Aaron Wright.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. He says as much in his message to them as well.
right.
So I just want to give a shout out to poor Jeff Seymour, who played the Martian dude that we've kept referring to as Piotr
Mm,
Korshinov, who is the Minister of Defense of Mars. So he was Aaron
Yeah,
Wright's AM
yeah,
counterpart. And for Sean Doyle, who plays Aaron Wright, this was his episode by far, and I think he played it beautifully. We we finally got, or they gave us a little bit, like Jesse said, backstory or another look at the guy, and you started to empathize with the guy a little bit. Like, yeah, he's
a
done
little
a lot of
bit.
crappy things, but okay, he sounds sincere. And maybe at that moment when he's talking to his son, he really was going to face the music. But I think the moment that Christian revealed to him that she was going to meet with Mao, he saw an opportunity. and that he took it, and that's when he came up with the whole thing with the pill. And of course, the message that he sends to everyone on the ship, and
I
he's
had to admire him. That
yeah,
was a brilliant plan.
yeah, that was a very opportunistic moment for him to take, and he played everybody off of in this episode. He played Christian, and
Mal,
he played Mal,
Korshinov,
and he played Korshunov. So he's
and Ganymede
yep,
because he
destroyed
destroyed that
the
ship.
ship, and he's got Mao's ship locked on too. It basically says get rid of Christian, and we'll talk about what we're going to do going forward. So that was all really well done. Now let's just concentrate on the Christian Cotillard Bobby scenes. Jesse, I like you said, I think the interplay between those three was great. My favorite moment was when, because Bobby's kind of enjoying their discomfort once they leave Earth, and she's joshing with Cotillard, and then
Cotillard.
and says makes fun of his little gun and blah blah blah, and called him a desk jockey. And then when Cotillard reveals that he got Christian's son killed, that took the wind right out of her sail. And I thought that was just a beautifully done moment again in an episode with a lot of great moments. So Jesse, I know you were gushing at the top about these three characters. Here's a chance to do a little more of that.
Yeah, one more thing about Enright.
Hmm.
He reminds me, not really, but slightly. I remember Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter series
Okay.
that I remember, and I realize J.K. Rowling's is now there's issues, but let's put that aside for a minute. I remember her talking about that sometimes the bad guys don't get what's coming. They're so good at doing politics that they're able to do bad things and continue to do more bad things because of the way they play the game and everything. And this is Enright, right? That Enright keeps figuring out a way to keep playing the game. And so, like him, dislike him, you have to admire that. Yes, Christian is has band together her own team of misfits, right? Bobby, a from her mind, a disgraced Marine, right? She feels like Mars has betrayed her and she feels that betrayal. And so she is requested amnesty and asylum. And Katiar, a man who ended up, we don't know the full story yet, but somehow caused the death of her son. And together, the three of them are trying to do quote unquote what's right. And if we believe that Christian is trying to do what's right, and for the longest time I didn't, I do now feel like everyone's gray, but I think she has, if we forget about the crew of the Rossi, she at least now feels like the most muddy white, clear motives. Am I right? Not perfect,
Yep.
but I really think she is trying to do the best, not only for Earth, but also to try to stop the war.
Right.
And so she's gotten people that pulled together. And I just thought there, this not all for one and one for all. It's we're stuck this and her idea, and I expect you two to have my back.
Yep.
And both of them, Bobby and Cuddy, are like, yeah, I guess I am going to have your back. And that means I've got to have your back too, even though the differences and stuff. And I just love that dynamic. They are absolutely great, just really in-depth characters. And I agree with you. The more I see Bobby, the more I just really admire her. She is a true patriot and she cares about Mars and she wants Mars to do well. But she's also been betrayed by the unit core, what country, God. We talked about this last time. I can't remember the exact order,
Hmm.
but she feels totally betrayed. That, and it's one thing for her, she was happy with her team to be sacrificed if they chose to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah.
But the way that used, I don't know if she can ever forgive that. So
Yeah.
I just love watching them together.
Yeah. I picked Bobby for you specifically for that characteristic because, as you said, out of a show of gray, she is probably going to be the most pure character from start to finish. So,
Yeah.
True to herself.
yep.
Yes.
I loved Cotillard and Bobby's banter.
Yes.
They are excellent foils for each other. They're the same, but completely different. And you
Well
have
said.
to really love that. They're not enemies. The fact that they are very sandpapery together, it's great. It's just, and I loved that Cotillard, he can take it and he can also give it back. And then when the time comes for him to put an end to it, he knows how to take the wind out of her sails, right?
Yep.
And he just was like, we're serious here. We can't be doing this kind of back and forth where we're on different sides. We got to be on the same side. So let me let you in on this. I killed her son. So I'm here because I owe her a debt. He's saying all this stuff to her without saying it.
Yep.
And he's also saying, you also owe her a debt, right? That's what I felt was happening, that she sobers up in that moment and says, okay, I'll get on the same page. I also really loved when they come into the room and there's little finger sandwiches and she dives on them so hard. You gotta love a woman that likes her food.
Cucumber sandwiches.
Yeah.
Do you want a cucumber? Yeah, and she's eating it and she's pointing at them like, "Hey, come on!"
Yeah.
You know?
And then she's stacking them up on top of each
She's
other.
hoovering those sandwiches.
Like
Yeah.
we don't know when we're going to eat again, right? So
Well,
Mars,
that's her mindset, right?
yeah, Mars
Yeah.
cucumbers might be a luxury item. I don't know.
I would think,
Exactly.
yeah, fresh fruit and
Yeah.
vegetables,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It
Yeah.
is a fruit, by the way.
And
Yeah.
then he goes,
So
right?
yeah, I
I
loved
love
that
that.
scene.
Thank you for bringing that up. I did saw that. You're like, ooh, food.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
It wasn't an ooh food, it was a ooh food.
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
was on it. And it does show that she knows how to focus on something, right? Because
Mhm.
the food was definitely a big focus for her. And I understand that she doesn't trust Christian's motives for bringing her along. And I think that Christian wasn't 100% honest with her. She was saying, you can be used as a pawn, so I'm taking you off the board. Yeah, sure. That's a good thing to put out there. But I think most of her thought was, I need to surround myself with people who I can depend on. And I think she's going to be that.
Yep.
And I loved seeing her and Cotillard get on the same page ultimately. And I feel like they're going to be a fantastic team. And again, I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just hoping that they become her security team. Of course, that's in peril right now because they're going to
Mhm.
get set upon by these other guys. They're outnumbered. And Mao was such a snake in this episode. He's met his match in Aaron Wright, which is such a surprise. And him just smugly getting on the elevator and removing himself from the situation, wiping his hands clean, was such an insight into him as well. We also know that he's not mourning over losing his daughter at all. She was a casualty in his war. And understanding that they're not getting their hands on that sample on Ganymede, and I'm putting air quotes around that. It's, I guess, one of the children was experimented on and became this thing. That seems to be what's going on, at least. He knew that he didn't hold all the cards at that point, and so he has to remove himself. And he is backed into a corner, but he's still super smug. And that really pissed me off. Also, I did say to my husband before all that, when they're taking off from Earth, that ship is so not aerodynamic. It's a brick going through space. And it's the first time we've seen that a ship just doesn't look like it should be flying. It looks like one of those airport shuttles.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have been on one of those, but it
yeah,
takes you from the main gate to an intermediary
yeah.
gate.
Exactly what it is. Yeah.
Is that what they used as yeah. But wow, it was, how did that ship take off and go through the
I
air?
guess that's the power of the fusion engine that guy discovered.
Right, right.
What's his name again?
That's what husband,
Epstein? The Epstein drive.
Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my husband said is it doesn't need to be aerodynamic. It has enough power. And I
Yeah.
said, dude, but that takes me out of the show a little bit, right? But yeah, I loved that whole thing. Again, this episode is hitting on all cylinders. Stories they're definitely a setup for the season finale, but they're also packed with information and you got to really dig that. Lots of character beats, and that's one of my favorite things in shows like this. So just amazing.
Yeah, I already mentioned you guys already mentioned the cucumber scene, and I mentioned the coach here reveal about him getting Christian's son killed. I also liked Christian's insight into when she was looking at the monitor at Earth and saying, that's the real pull of a planet is it's not that Earth is the home of humanity, but it's the life that he's built there. And that applies to anybody, to wherever they grew up, whether it was on Mars or in the belt. That's the real pull of a place. And
Yeah, home, right?
yeah, home.
Yeah.
And again, the show does such a great job of showing you how things have switched. Uh, in that scene where Aaron Wright delivers his ultimatum, and without a word, Mao gets up and gets behind his bodyguards, and you see the power shift. Like he's siding with Aaron Wright.
So smug.
He's no longer negotiating with Christian. And Christian, she realizes that she's in a tough spot, and she backs up and she's hiding behind Bobby as the Mao's contingent is exiting the room. And yeah, it's just really well done stuff. And it'll be interesting to see how they get out of that predicament. If they
And
do, I don't know.
don't you
I don't
feel like
know.
it's not a move of cowardice for her to back up?
Nope,
She's just admitting,
she's defenseless, but she's the most important piece on the
right,
board, right? So
right.
yeah,
And she realizes that she needs to let those two do their job
exactly.
and not get in the way.
Yeah,
I enjoyed those beats where Mao is leaving as smugly, hey, this is my only choice. I'm going to back up.
yeah,
But Christian backs up and makes a power move in doing that. So I really enjoyed that. Mao is up against the ropes or whatever. So yeah, I also like the beat where the UN symbol was on the TV and Bobby says that they used it as target practice.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic.
yeah, yeah. It's funny if there's one prediction the show's gotten wrong is how relevant the UN is in the world today,
Yeah.
Hmm.
because it's pretty well ignored. Anything international is being ignored nowadays, which is, I think, a big reason why the world's the shape it's in right now.
Sad.
Um,
Hmm.
it's yeah, and then we get to the final piece that I saved for last, which because I personally, and I think we all did, felt the most emotional about. I know I got a little verklempt a couple of moments in there, and I also had a couple of chuckles, which I always appreciate in a tense moment when you get a good laugh. I call this the show's Titanic tribute scene. And maybe that the mantra from Starman is that humanity is at its best when things are at its worst. And maybe that's unrealistic, as I think that's what Jeez, Jesse was inferring. But within the context of that situation, I thought it was incredibly powerful. And I think it just shows the how noble man can be at times. And so, Jesse, you referenced this. This is what you were referencing off the top of the episode, I believe. Let's hear what you got to say about it.
Yeah, I want to live in a world where we listen to the better call of our angels, right? Right now, that's hard to see, but I was very touched by the first off, the pilot, what's the character's name? The one that's,
Melissa.
yeah, is she still mourning her husband and the people that ended up in her mind, and you can honestly say did get him killed, right? And Naomi, look, I can help you. I want to do better. And the idea that we can't save them all, so let's save none of them. Because what's going to happen is we're gonna have this, everyone's going to try to rush in, people are going to die in the riot, and then too many people will end up doing nothing. And Naomi, we have to try. I have to try. And when she tells that big brute guy,
Champa.
yeah, that this is what we're going to do. And she offers, you get my spot if you can help me save these. We only have space for X people. And him to say, we are better than this. I'm actually getting a little choked up. The idea that we can do this and we can't save all of us, but we can save some of us, and let's make it. And you see the children going back, no, I want to be, and the parents pushing them, and the husband saying, no, go. And then when you get to that's it, that's all we can take. And you want to go, gosh. And when he says, no, you have a destiny, you've got something else to do, just very powerful.
Yeah.
I would like to think I would be one of those people that would go, I get it. I understand. I don't know if I would or not.
Right.
And I don't know if in today's society, if people would, or would they just go, screw it all. If I can't get in, I don't care about anyone else. Yeah, I really love that scene. I loved Melissa saying you did good today, Naomi. And now then you've got just, it's, how do you choose? You mentioned Titanic. Leo DiCaprio told the story that President Obama says, yeah, don't talk to my wife because she will tell you she thinks there was room on the door for you too. And by the way, I agree. So don't talk to my wife. So I just love that ending. I love that you put aside your differences and try to, I can't save everyone, but I can save some, and some is better than none.
Karen.
Yeah. Champa, whatever his name was, the bodyguard dude.
Yeah. Great role for a guest star, eh?
Right?
Yeah.
He was one of the heroes of this episode and an example of selflessness through the entire thing, even though at the beginning it looks like it's all for him kind of thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't help until Melissa tells him, you got a spot that's not on the floor. And he takes her up on that offer, but he's also incredibly patriotic. And when he makes that speech to the people and he rallies them, it really does show the Belters' patriotism to not only their home, but their cause, that they want people to live on. And if they have to sacrifice themselves, then that's what they'll do. I thought it was interesting that it was 52 people, like a deck of cards.
Oh, nice one. I didn't pick that up.
Yeah. And weeks in a year.
Yes. Very good.
It's a pretty symbolic number that means a lot of stuff. It's an entire deck of cards. So those are the only people that made it on the ship. That's complete. And I loved the little, again, I'm getting emotional too, the little touches of the child running back to his mother and the mother saying, nope, you got to go. The parents that are saying, my children will be looked after whether I make it on or not, because they understand the bond that the Belters have. And then the husband who tells his wife to his name is Gear, by the way, and we've seen him already in the show, but he's pretty cute, by the way.
And she bring him up.
Yeah, but I thought it's an important
Yeah.
beat as
What I
well.
like about that is because again, it's a microcosm of the show, but there's no dialogue between the two characters, right? It's
Yep,
just looks, and
yep.
it's really well done. Like when
Those
he,
are
yeah,
anytime you can communicate that without using words, that's so
hmm
powerful.
yeah,
So powerful.
yeah,
Her look to him saying, I need you, but if you tell me to go, I'll go.
yeah,
Hoping that he makes it aboard. The fact that he is the last person there and he gets told by Champa that he can't go. And then the ending of that scene where Naomi's thanks and gives him the OPA thing
yeah.
and is ready
Salute.
to stay
Yeah,
aboard, and Champa puts her on the
yeah,
ship. So powerful.
yeah,
Fantastic. Again, another hit on the storylines for
yeah,
this episode.
yeah.
So, hold on just for a minute, Lou, if you don't
Sure.
mind. I just asked Miss Google the significance of the number 52.
Okay.
And they said the number 52 is significant primary as a measure of time, 52 weeks in a year, standard unit in leisure, 52 cards in a deck, but it often symbolizes completion, structure, and cycles. In
Hmm.
Yep.
spiritual context, it represents alignment and God's work,
Oh,
while in
interesting.
mathematics, it's known as an untouchable number.
I didn't know that.
I didn't
Thanks.
either. So, yeah, it is. I
I'm glad I
realize.
picked up on it then.
Yeah, good
Hmm.
job. I didn't catch that. And I do remember reading once that there is a reason why 52 weeks in a year, 52 cards. There is a lot of it, like four suits, the four seasons, a
Yeah,
lot of different things like that. So yeah, picked up, Karen.
yeah. I think the guy that played the Champa, I think you kind of, again, I'm reaching here a little bit, but you could look at his name and it's just like as champ, right? Like it's
Yeah,
Hmm.
just so he became like the champion of the Ganymede
To reach
refugees.
even further, you can
Mhm.
take it as he chomped at the bit at the beginning,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
then he became the champ
exactly.
of the
Yeah, we
episode.
went from chump to champ.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. And I would be remiss though if we didn't point out the scene between Naomi and oh God, what's his name?
Amos.
Amos, when
Yes.
she started repeatedly stabbing him with a tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
It's interesting that it took 3 doses because he has one to get rid of the pain, and then she has to hit him 2 more times to disable him. And again, is betrayal one of the themes of this episode? Because it seems to be used several times over the course.
You could say that. Yeah,
Aaron Wright, he betrays the Martian.
yeah.
He says that Christian has betrayed him. He
Hmm.
betrays everyone. Then we have all this stuff on Naomi betrays Amos. And also, she goes against Melissa's wishes, even though that ends up getting resolved.
Yeah,
Also, Melissa, when we first met Melissa, she is on a mission to help people.
yeah,
And she has turned into a little bit of she's angry at
yeah,
the world because she
yeah.
lost her husband. And now she has to lean on these people that she deems responsible for
Hmm.
that, and she's ready to just go. I'm done.
Yeah,
And she realizes right at the end, I think she turns a corner and she tells Naomi that she did a great job. And
yeah,
I think she realizes that's her mission to help people
yeah,
again. So she has come full circle too.
yeah,
So full circle moments and betrayal moments were both themes in this episode.
yeah. And I have to also give a special nod to Melissa because she had my favorite line in the episode. She says, "You two are shit magnets." I just thought that was a great,
Fantastic.
that was a great
Yeah.
line.
Can't disagree.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's too
They
funny.
are. And it
Yeah,
happens again in this one too, that they become ship magnets.
yeah,
But
Mhm.
yeah. I think that's everything. Again, I just want to touch on that stowaway at the end of the episode. That sets up for a very interesting conclusion to the season 2 and the next episode, which is, I believe, is a title of one of the books, Caliban's War.
Yep.
So that will be an interesting conclusion to season 2, and Karen will be getting to lead that, and I look forward to that conversation. And
It's an
uh,
important thing it's a bit on my shoulders. So
right,
I hope I live
and
up to it.
the Caliban refers to the hybrid proto
It's
creature.
technically the name of the project, right?
Yep. And it's also pulled from Greek mythology. I think we talked about that last week as well, that he's the offspring of the Queen of the Dead and that. So,
Hmm.
so interesting. So I'm looking forward to that discussion as well. And
That means he's the offspring of Julie, essentially, right?
you could take
Is
it
it?
that way, yeah. And
Yeah.
we also have to find out what happens, what's going on Mars or Venus as well. So
Yeah, that
lots
wasn't
of
in this
questions, lots of
episode.
questions to be answered. And I'll just go around the table. Jesse, Karen, Jesse, do you have any last thoughts or want to talk about something that wasn't brought up?
No, I think this was really well done. The I'm curious, there's a lot of chaos between all the space stations being hurt, the moons, all this other stuff going on. So there needs to be, and as often we don't spend our time worrying about taking care of each other. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. That's all I'll say. There's just a lot of pieces on the ground.
Yeah. Or in space, perhaps.
Yes.
Karen.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem crowded.
No.
No.
And that, again, it's such a testament to the writing on the
Mm,
show.
for sure. For
There
sure.
are a lot of moving pieces, but
Yes.
you're interested in all of them. They all have an impact. There's not 23 episodes a season, but they do manage to get things in. Big props to
Yeah.
the writers.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Great props.
All righty. So with that, episode rating, and go around the table with you, Jesse, starting. What do you give this episode?
Great question. I feel like I probably overpraise this show too much, but I just really am enjoying it and very happy with it. So I'm going to give it 9 out of 10 very old whiskeys.
Oh, nice one.
I
Nice.
forgot the name of the
Yeah.
drink he gave them, but yeah.
Okay, Karen.
I'm going to give it also a 9. I'm not just piggybacking. That was in my mind already. 9 doses of some kind of chemical because it
Okay.
happens twice.
Okay, very good. And I'll give it 8.75 cucumber sandwiches.
Ooh,
Nice.
perfect.
Do you think she
Yes.
ate more than 9
I don't
sandwiches?
know. I don't know. They were pretty small. I'm sure she wolfed
They
down
were.
quite a few.
Yeah.
Alrighty. With that, we'll be back next week with the concluding episode of season 2 and with great anticipation. So, Jesse, where can people find out more about you?
So I am at Jesse Jackson DFW on Twitter. You can hear me talking music on Set Lusting Bruce, and now available at Who, What, When, a podcast that is a South Carolina public radio. If you can find it on Spotify, Who, What, When, ya boy was part of they finally released it where I was in a contest on children's literature. And I will not
Hmm.
say whether I won or not, but it was a fun discussion. One of the hosts was Daniel, who joined us he's the guy, they do the Hallmark podcast. So they also host this PBS special, and it's all about children's literature this episode. And I got to be on it, and you guys can check out and see if I won or not.
Cool.
Fantastic.
And what about your normal hangouts?
Set Listing Bruce, Next Stop Everywhere. I'm out there. Just look Jesse Jackson podcasting and you'll find me way too much.
All right. Karen.
Well, you can email us at jklmediareviews@gmail.com. I am at Alveria on social media, and my blog is alliestuff.com.
Awesome. And you can find me on this YouTube channel, JKL Media Reviews, where we're doing the Expanse series of review right now and waiting with great anticipation for Pluribus and Severance to come back. And plus whatever one-offs we decide we want to do. On my personal YouTube channel, Lou's Reviews, you'll find our archived reviews of the entire Babylon 5 series as well as the animated movie. Plus, I have my Stephen King podcast as well as my writer interview podcast. And on Twitter and X, you can find me at Lou W. Sytsma, Sytsma. And with that, we're going to shut down the Epstein Drive for another week and say so long. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And scene.
The proceeding has been a JKL Media production.